What is up, YouTube? It is Fresh Scopes here again with another Black Ops commentary. Sorry again, this weekend I was really busy. A lot of shit happened, Don't really want to talk about it, but there's a lot of shit was happening. So yeah, that's my explanation. But yeah, anyway. Today is actually on a couple of videos ago I told you that I was gonna start doing some serious talks if y'all gave me some topics. Today is gonna be my first one. I got one that said talk about my worst moment and my best moment. I can't really think of my best moment because a lot of shit good has happened to me. Just can't think of one specific thing. But today I'm gonna talk about my worst moment, which was, so this was last year. I was in the 9th grade or whatever. Obviously, because I just got done with the 10th grade. And last year, I was pretty quiet. Now I'm not really quiet, but I used to be pretty quiet. I had a lot of friends and shit. Everybody knows me, but I was just really quiet. So, this one week, a lot of shit had been happening at my house, and I just didn't really feel like talking to nobody. So at lunch I just either sit with one person, one of my really close friends, or I just pretty much just chill by myself for that whole week pretty much. And so I guess this guy had seen me, just chilling by myself. He came up to me and he actually complimented me on my outfit or whatever, which no homo, that sounds kind of gay, but nothing like that. But, he just said he liked whatever. He just said, and I said, well, thanks, bro. And that was it, and then he just stood there for a little bit, and I was just chilling, I didn't really give a shit. Then he asked me, he was like, we started up a new gang or whatever. Yeah. I told you I've been through a lot in my life, so I wouldn't say I'm like the stereotypical YouTuber, and this story will kind of prove it. But anyway, he said, he asked me did I ever want to be part of a gang or something? And I said, not really. I've been around it all my life. I told him that my brother was in a gang. Luckily, he got away from all that bullshit. So I told him, I didn't really care. Sure, which was a dumb decision now that I look back on it, but yeah. And so he was like, well, we just started up a new one or whatever, where I live, he said. And so he was like, you just gotta fight somebody to get in. You just gotta, I don't know if y'all know how to get into gangs. I hope y'all don't, because that's not a good thing to know, but either you get jumped in or you have to fight somebody in the gang, or to get in, you just gotta fight for a certain amount of time or get jumped in for a certain amount of time. So I was like, all right, and then he asked me if I had a gun or anything, which at the time, I'm not proud about it. I did. It was legal. Obviously, me and my brother did. Luckily now we've gotten rid of it. We've put a past behind us, and we're better people now. But I did at the time, so I told him, yeah, whatever. Told him what I had, and then so he was like, oh, okay. So, he was, and the next day he talked to me, and then the day after that he was like, why don't you come out to the A, which is not Atlanta, it is projects where I'm from. It's PVA. It's the projects where I'm from, if y'all, but whatever. And so I was like, okay. He told me to come out on the day. He told me to come out that afternoon, And so I was like, alright, I'll come out, or whatever. And he said, we can get this shit over with. I was like, alright, whatever. So that day, my brother picked me up or whatever, and he had to take this girl home. So I told him, drop me off in the A for a little bit, and then you take her home, and then you can come back and get me. He did not know that I was about to do this, because he damn sure wouldn't have let me, because, he doesn't want me to be in that type of shit. But, I just told him that I was about to just go talk to him, that I'm cool with him or whatever. So he said, okay. So I kind of just played my brother, and I regret that, I don't like doing that, But yeah, so he dropped me off there, whatever. So I met him at the entrance of the projects, and And he actually knew one of the guys that was standing there because my brother actually used to be in a gang with him. And, or he used to gang bang with him or whatever. So he knew him, and he said what's up to him or whatever, and then my brother left. So we walked down through all the apartments or whatever, and we got down to like this little deserted road. A couple people had followed us, and like this other guy that was in the gang had followed us or whatever. And then so he told me who I was about to fight. I'm not gonna name any names because I don't want to put their names out there. But then I was just standing down there in this little deserted road. It wasn't really deserted, but barely any cars came down there or whatever. And so the guy that I was about to fight, he came up the street, and let me tell you right now that I was drunk as fuck at the time. Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, really. But anyway, and then so he came up the road or whatever, and so we squared up or whatever, and they told us to go. I can't remember how long we had to fight for. I can't remember. But he told us to go. So I was drunk. I wasn't really computing things very well in the first place. So think about fighting drunk. But yeah, so I was doing his ass in at the beginning drunk. I mean, he was sober and everything. And I was doing his ass in like until the very end. I say I caught an L, but everybody at my school says I won, which I don't really care, but because it wasn't like I had a problem with him, but still, everybody says I won. But yeah, and then we was fighting or whatever, in the middle of the fight, like I slipped and almost fell, but I caught myself with my hand, and I came back up and caught him with an uppercut and busted his nose. And I think that kind of made him mad. And like in the beginning of the fight, the only rule that the guy told us was don't hit somebody if they're down, like if they fall or something. So I was drunk. I didn't have very good balance in the first place. So yeah, I hit him in his nose, and I think like he was bleeding pretty bad. I think I made him mad. So so he just kept rushing me. I just kept hitting him. He wasn't that great of a fighter, but I kept hitting him. And then, on the sides of the road, there was like little shallow ditches. Like, there wasn't like big ditches, but there were shallow ones. And like, it was just really bad timing. Like, I was stepping back and just kept hitting him. And, just unlucky timing. I stepped off the road into like one of those ditches, so I kind of lost my balance. And like, I couldn't block because, I put my arms out to try to catch my balance. And at the same time, he hit me. So, both of them mixed together, I fell. Whatever. And then the one thing he told us not to do is he hit me on the ground, which is the one thing the guy told us not to do. So the guy told him to stop the fight or whatever. So it didn't really hurt. Like, it's not like it hurt. I didn't really care. I was gonna get up and keep fighting him, but he told us to stop or whatever. So I just sat up and I was just sitting there for a second, and then when I sat up, I looked to my right, down the street. Guess what was coming? A fucking cop. So yeah, I was like, damn. So yeah, you already know, everybody else started running. I was drunk, so I wasn't really gonna run. I was like, fuck that. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get up and walk, and that's it. So I got up and just started walking. The guy started calling me, or the cop kept calling me. I wasn't listening. He pulled his car in front of me, stopped me, and was like, get in the back seat. And he said, and luckily he didn't say I'm gonna take you downtown. He said I'm gonna take you home. So then, like, right when I got the cop car, my brother called me and was like, where you at? I'm gonna come get you. And I said, I'm in a cop car. He said, what? It's like, I'm in a cop car. And then cop asked me, it was like, are you talking to your mom? I was like, no, I'm talking to my brother. He said, oh, let me talk to him. So he told him about it or whatever. And then he made it sound like I was really bad. Like he said I was like bleeding from the mouth. I only had like a busted lip and whatever. I wasn't bad at all. But then he asked me what my name was, and he called my mom. So what that means. My mom was mad as fuck. I got home. He brought me home. I live in a rich white neighborhood, or I used to. I live in a different place. It's still a rich white neighborhood, but yeah. And so yeah, then he brought me home. So my mom was mad, and I'm gonna keep talking, so you're just gonna have a black screen. But he brought me home. He talked to my mom. My mama was mad as fuck for days. But She was pretty happy that I was okay, you know, because she didn't know about the whole gang thing until later, which she was really mad about too, because she had went through it with my brother or whatever. But yeah, that's the end of this commentary. That's probably my worst experience. And leave any other topics y'all want me to say or talk about in the comments or whatever, like drugs, gangs, or anything. It doesn't really matter. I've been around it a lot. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this. You know, this has been Fresh Scopes, and I am out.